Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Mai and Max, or actually it doesn't even have a name yet, but we're live in Dubai at the Paramount Hotel, which is so graciously allows us to be able to film it. And this is the end of our honeymoon, our month long. We've been on the road literally for a month and I think a week, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so what better guest to have other than Mama Wafaa for our first guest.
Oh, Mama Wafaa.
No, not you,
I thought you were
not
going to
you.
say May.
Of course
okay,
not.
fine. Mama
It's your podcast.
Hey.
So Mama Wafaa, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for not resisting the attempt that we made to get you here. We know you could have been anywhere, like at the spa, doing something else.
Cooking.
Hanging out with us. But you know, I think for me, this is kind of like a selfish podcast, right? I'm learning so much about you as we spend time together over the last couple weeks. And you know, and you know what was so crazy is as we go through the malls and like we hang out, there's been like a really crazy response to you being there. I think it's emotional to me because I get to see people be like, they see you and they meet you and they're like, it's like they've known you for years, and even several people have cried because you remind them of so much of their mother and stuff like that. Oh. What is that like? Because I'm pretty sure a couple years ago you had no idea what was.
Wallahi, no idea. No idea.
So what is it like? What is it like now walking in the mall and people recognizing you in New York and then here in Dubai, and it's just crazy? What is that like for you?
You know, I am an Egyptian mother. You know, all these people, I relate to them. I love them, you know. I get rid of one, the other one, you know, I like, you know, to meet people and see them. I feel, you know, the connection because, you know, I left my mother when I was 28. I went to the States. And I was really, really, really sad to leave her. So I feel I have this connection with other people. Oh, yeah, just to feel the mother. Just go away.
So, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. What was it like, and what decision did you make? Why did you come to America? Why did you decide to go to America? What was that decision like?
الراجل.
You found the sugar daddy, Mama. Did you find the sugar daddy or not? Answer the question. This is my contribution.
In the college, I met my husband. He was a teacher there, معيد. He was وبعدين هقول بقى بالعربي شوية كده. For 2 years, I knew in the college. You know, I knew him in the college.
He was a teacher and you were a student, but you weren't his student. But also, there's only a 2-year difference.
3 years, 3 months, 3 days.
So it's not like.
Oh, so it's
it was like
3
college.
years, 3 days, 3 months and 3 day difference between your age.
Yeah.
So how was he a professor? He's just that smart?
He wasn't.
No, معيد, you know, the
student.
Student teacher.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a student teacher in college.
Understand? Okay.
Yeah, and then I didn't hear from him at all for 2 years. And one day, I get a phone call. Hello, are you ready to get married? Yes. والله ده اللي حصل.
Wait, so why? Were there other guys along the way, or that was the first guy that called? Like,
yeah. No. He was the best guy because during these 2 years, I had really, you know, bad experience. I had all this.
Like
so
what?
the minute he asked me to marry him, I was ready. Take me.
What were the bad experiences?
No. He was ready. So in a month, we finished everything. I moved to the States. I have 5 kids. Boom, 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 boom. I was by myself.
Boom, boom, boom,
my
boom.
mother, no one.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's fine.
Really
That's fine.
That was really talent. That was talent.
And so you got to America. May was telling me that you came to America around like October-ish time. Was that September? And then there was a holiday that happened when you got there. It was Halloween. Tell me about your first Halloween experience in New York.
Everybody has to hear the story. I swear.
It was so bad. I lived in a house, the 3rd floor. You know, three
family home?
3 family home. I was on the top, and there was a babysitter in the 1st floor. I have no idea about Halloween, nothing. So I was sitting by myself in the house, and the door, and I was, who is it? And no one is answering me. So I said, I am going to be killed today. You know, dun, 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 dun. So I opened the door, I found these monsters, and they thought I am playing with them. I was pushing the door. They were pushing there. I'm pushing the door. I was screaming. And then
So you thought
How did
that
you
they
close the
got
door?
scared. The kids got scared and left. And my husband came. I was crying. I lost my hair. I lost my teeth. Everything. I wanted to go back, but you know.
And then what happened when you called my dad, and what did he say to you?
No, he came and he fought with the babysitter. He didn't know either, you know. But this is
He
my
fought with
first.
the babysitter.
Yeah. And
So-
this is my first experience in America.
So you understand now that they're just kids dressed up as.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, but it was so scary.
What did you think about America before you came? Were you excited, or what?
No, you know, he was young. I was 24. He was 27. You know, the minute I saw the apartment, it was one-room apartment. I felt so sorry. I came all this way for one-bedroom apartment. You know, it was life was tough.
So for anybody watching and listening, don't understand that New York City is very tight and small, and like one bedroom is a very expensive, especially where you're living at, and so it's very, very expensive. So you go from somewhere in Cairo where you probably have like a nice place,
Yeah.
right, into
Like a
this
house.
one bedroom place, and you're like, what is this? And that's the experience of a lot of. But did New York City or America match your idea of it before you got there?
You know, this is in the 80s. Remember, I had this idea, guns, and someone will kill me, someone will rob me in the beginning.
Guns.
Yeah.
Somebody knocking on your door.
Yeah.
So talk about like school and education. You went to university. What universities did you attend?
I went to Alison. I don't know what, yeah.
And what did you
So
study?
this is language college.
Yeah.
You have all the languages. I learned German, and my husband was English. He was more than me. He was excellent student, but you know.
They had the money, honey. Just say it.
No, not that.
It's fine.
He and for a long time you had a degree in different languages and he had a
German
degree-
literature. German
Okay.
literature.
What German do you remember from your master's
Ich liebe
degree?
dich. Well,
That's it.
yeah, ich habe alles vergessen. This is, yeah.
Wow.
Best, so from Cairo, I came in 1 month. We finished everything. I was in the United States, but he was good. The first thing, he decided I will continue my education. So I went to New York University. I was studying. I was pregnant. I got my master's degree in German literature. وبعدين boom, 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 5 kids. Staying home. وبعدين after I stayed, you know, the youngest one, this is the youngest daughter, I have another son.
Yeah.
The youngest son went to kindergarten. I started working as a teacher هناك وبعدين كنت بدرس وبشتغل وبقيت مدرسة for 17 years. I was a teacher for 17 years. وبعدين سبت التدريس ودي بقى
I kept her busy after that.
social media.
And so for May, what was it like growing up in your parents are first generation Americans, very similar to myself, right? And so my parents are from Jamaica, your parents are from Egypt. They still have a lot of the same customs, and they're not even removed from where they came from. So what was it like for you growing up in America, but also living in a Arab Muslim home at the same time and like experiencing both sides?
I was very scared of them. I was very scared of them growing up. But I think like we always had that community. Like my parents always had us learning Arabic, Quran on Sundays. We went to Islamic schools growing up.
So how long did you go to Islamic school?
Islamic school, I was
والله ودي النتيجة برضه.
it's not that funny. I was there from
Pre-K, from pre-K.
I was there from pre-K. Mom, other questions for me? Thank you very much. I was there from pre-K to 9th grade.
Wow.
And I had to beg at 9th grade. I think I was 16, 17. I'm like, please, I don't want Islamic school. I can't take any more Islam.
But what made you? I mean, I guess growing up in New York, that's a good thing about growing up in New York. You have. It's one of the. I think it's the most diverse place in the world, and you have all of these different cultures and religions so you can move to New York and really still be in Egypt, if that makes sense.
We had a lot of Egyptian friends. We had a lot of Arab friends. My mom spoke to us in Arabic when we were at home. So Islamic schools, a lot of the people from the same culture, same religion. So I didn't feel like an outside, like I didn't feel like a freak of nature until I went into a public school.
What was that like?
That was
from
like
9th grade going into public school.
That was
public school in New York.
Yeah, public school in New York was the biggest culture shock the first day. First of all, my mom scared me. She's like, oh, you don't want to stay in Islamic school? You're going to get beat up every day in public school. I was like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. I was being tough. I went to public school. I was so quiet. I'm like, when am I going to get beat up? I was like, oh my God. And then my friend, like this girl turned out to be my best friend. She was from Mozambique. And she had long nails. And she passed me a Coke can. She's like, hey, can you open this for me? And I was like, I was like, yes. And I opened it for her, and then we started talking, and then she was my best friend throughout high school, and then I had a really good time. I was really shy in the beginning, just to make sure I wasn't gonna get beat up. But after that, like I opened up, I was experiencing many different people. I got to experience things that I didn't get to do in private school. And then I started to develop a personality, a strong personality.
When?
Always, every day. Every day.
ما اعرفش هي طالعه كده لوحدها يعني.
So what was it like for you as her mom, seeing that transition from being in private school to going to public school in New York? Did you start to see her personality grow at that point?
You know, her siblings banged on me. I didn't see that. She goes out of the house. I was always sitting beside the door, checking what they are wearing.
All the way up until January 7th, 2022, to keep in mind, sitting by the door waiting.
Every day, waiting by the door, telling me where am I going, what am I wearing. I had to have multiple escape routes out of the house. It was always something crazy. Like, it was weird because like in private Islamic school, I felt like I wasn't a weird, like everybody was like me. And then I went to public school, nobody knew everybody was like, what's happening? I would have a big bag and I'm like rushing in and sweating and chinging in the corner and like all this weird stuff that people weren't used to. And so it was like a big change, and my mom also was like worried, like, oh, what is she doing now? It was like a shift for everybody, I think.
والله I tried my best. وبعدين بقى اللي يطلع بقى يعني مش هعرف. I tried my best with all of them.
And so what about going into college? Did you go to college in New York? Where did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college in Fordham, and I was throughout, okay, so they would always call me Doctora May, Doctora May. I always felt this pressure. They were like, oh, you're going to be a doctor. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'd go and cheat on my exams and like try to make it through. And then in college, I was pre-med. So I was taking all the science courses, and I tried, like I really wanted to make them like proud in the way that they wanted me to, but I couldn't because I was miserable. Like I hated the classes. I hated the classes I was taking because I really didn't enjoy like science like that.
Because any first generation American like myself and May, you have three options pretty much. You're going to be a doctor, or an engineer, or a lawyer.
Or a disappointment.
Or the fourth one is maybe a disappointment. Yeah. So it's like you got to be somewhere in there, and so there's that big load and burden you have to carry. Yeah. I didn't go to college, so it just wasn't even.
So
I was the disappointment for a long time. Oh yeah.
But yeah. So then I was like trying to stick through science, and then I hated science, so I was like, let me try to be a lawyer. Then they went from calling me Doctora May to like lawyer May or something. Esquire, yeah. And then I had uncles from Egypt calling me saying, don't be a lawyer, lawyers are liars. And they kept calling me liars from Egypt. I'm like, okay. And then I worked at a law firm for 2 years, and I was behind a desk just withering away doing paperwork, like seeing if I would like
You guys see me working
I
at a
swear,
law
I was doing paperwork, and I'm sure I was messing up every piece of paper, but I don't know how I stayed there for 2 years.
Your dad told me one day that in order for you to get a car, you conned him into thinking that you were going to be a doctor and you needed the card in order to go to labs. Is that true?
Are you and my mom working against me?
I'm just telling you what I heard from your dad.
Wallahi.
I might have used leverage to say, if you want me to be a doctor, you have to get me a car, a brand new car. And did it work? It did. It's not my fault. You should second guess that. So yeah, I tried, and then when I was unhappy, I was just like, I just quit. I was like, it was the end of the year, it was December, and I was like, okay, you know, I started a jewelry company with my mom, and we would just randomly be at the jewelry stand. It was a very unsuccessful business. It was like a jewelry stand, and it wasn't that well known, but every time me and my mom would do a story or interact, it would go boom. Like it just was working. A lot of people were reaching out. And so I started like just naturally creating videos between me and my mom interacting, and then it was like a new year, and I was like, I told the people at the law firm, I was like, hey, I'm quitting. They're like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, Instagram. They all looked at me, they're like, what? Oh, you're gonna post pictures? I'm like, yeah. Try to follow me if you can. And then I quit and I left. And
how did you take, Mama Wafaa, how did you take the idea of her quitting her job?
Loser. Jesus. We are the old generation, you know, we need a job, we need money every month. You know, for me, very strange, very strange.
Thanks, Mom. No, and so I was scared of telling my parents for months, so
How did you tell them?
I didn't tell them I quit. I would pack a bag every day with like a laptop and my phone and notebook, and I just sit in a cafe as if I was going to work from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. or like 9 to 6, and I would sit down and I would just research Instagram and YouTube, and I was taking courses, and I don't think that, I don't know, I just wanted to delve in the topic so much that I was like learning about it. And I did that for like 3-4 months, and I didn't tell them. And then one day I was recording a YouTube video, and I was like, it was like, hey, get to know May kind of thing. It was like my first introduction. And I kind of like just told her I was like, hey Mom, so I quit my job a few months ago. She thought it was a prank. She was like, ha ha. I'm like, yeah, it's for real. But it was hard telling them, and then she started really worrying about me, and she thought I was a hopeless case. But that helped her be in the videos more, because like
Keep
her
her
being
in line. I didn't want anything, you know.
When I told her I'm doing Instagram, she thought I was like doing like modeling photos.
And she does.
No. She thought I was doing like modeling or like, I don't know, like hot girl stuff. And and then that made her be more involved and watch more. And then we just were together, and then we just started creating by force.
Because there was a pushback in the beginning, because it was like, what are you doing? Like, nobody understands this Instagram.
So my brothers are engineers, my sister's an accountant, my other sister's a teacher. So like when I would tell them, oh, I'm creating videos now, they were like, she's a loser, this is not a job,
You're the fourth, this
like,
is the disappointment.
Yeah, so my brother was like, yeah, just, you know, you can hit up, he didn't really understand. He was like, yeah, since you're a loser with no job, you can hit up a hotel and they could probably like sponsor a stay. Like he didn't understand. He would just say ideas at me, and I'm like, yeah, thanks. Like it was like I couldn't really like tell them what was happening because they didn't get it.
And my prayers started. Ya Rabb al-Aris, Ya Rabb, khallasna minha, Ya Rabb.
So Mama Wafaa, when did you realize what she was doing may actually be adding value to the world? Like, what do you remember the day? Do you remember the moment?
Wallahi, أنا علمت. You know, I taught her. I give her every chance. This is the way she chose. You know, I always support my kids. I always run after them. This is her way. خلاص. But
was there a moment that you realized, okay, maybe she does have something here? Was it a moment, a day, of that something happened, something you've seen, and you're like, okay, maybe she does know what she's doing? Or
I would love to hear this.
There had to be a day. There had to be a day that you've seen something. You're like, okay, maybe she is right, or maybe.
You see it? You still see something?
Wallahi, didn't come, not yet. I am waiting for this day. لما نشوف.
Where's the money, Mama? Please say something nice.
No, this is the career she chose, you know. It is her career, far from me. She's, you know.
I think I took her on a weekend spa. A weekend spa.
Is that when it
And
kinda
it
like,
was like
oh.
2 months ago. And that was, she was like, wow, I love this. Any more opportunities like this? And I was like, oh.
This is her career. Whatever she chooses, you know. خلاص بقى كبرت خلاص.
I guess
So she's still not proud. Is what she's saying.
She's
just
working
letting
on
me
it.
do
She's, maybe you
I am
guys being
working
here
on it.
helped. Yeah.
I need a doctor. I need a doctor. Write a sign or something like that.
So a lot of people in our DMs, a lot of people in our comments, they wonder about us.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wonder.
very.
They wonder, were you hiding me this whole time when you were Kalimli and Papi this whole time? What was going on? Like it's really a thing. What is your version of the story of how we met and
I would
how
never-
we're married today?
I would never hide a fiance or a husband. That's number one. But me and Max, actually, we met in 2018. We're friends. And I was, okay, this is the time period where I was experimenting. And I was experimenting in real estate. So I was learning about real estate. I was like, ooh,
But she
okay.
still had her job. She still had
Yeah.
a job at this point.
And Max was like one of the biggest real estate investors at the time. So I was like following his page, following his YouTube, just learning this and that. And he had an event, like a real estate event. So I just went to learn, I swear. I went to go learn more about it. And then I was sitting next to his mom, and then I had met his friends. And then after he was doing his talks and whatever, I met Max. And then we had exchanged contacts. And then throughout the years, we were friends. We were literally...
And this is in 2019. So this is like early 2019. So there was like, but then we just kind of grew apart and went our own separate ways for
Yeah.
like a while. And then there would be times where, you know, I would comment and say, oh, nice video, or hey, have you seen this new camera? It was like real casual. It was just like,
No, but like the thing that was interesting is that he was blogging in the real estate world.
Yeah.
So he was doing videos, but like in a different genre.
Yeah.
So like even when I would be like, hey, so how do I do this? Or how do I build my profile? Or what do I do? He understood, like, because he had blown up. He was bigger than me at the time. He was way bigger. Like he had started.
at the time, not anymore.
At the time. And yeah, so he was like somebody I asked advice for, and somebody that really respected like content creation. And so throughout the years I'd just say, oh hey, I'm creating this t-shirt, how do I create this business, like stuff like that. And he would flirt with me from time to time.
Of course.
I did not pay it no mind.
Of course.
And then
الله يخرب بيتكم. مفيش أدب مفيش.
And then, after years of saying "Kalimni, Papi," no, until my birthday recently, September, I was just blogging, doing my own thing, and then we had connected on my birthday. We had met up, and he was like, "Oh, so why don't we date, or why don't we?" I was like, I don't really date. Let's marriage. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm interested." So then I had told my mom, hey, there's a guy. Well, first he said, yeah, I want to marry you. I didn't say marriage.
I asked her would she be interested in marrying me, and so like I'm 37, so I'm a little bit older than her.
Yeah.
And I've never been married. I don't have any kids, and I've always designed my life. At least I like to think that, right? That I wanted things to go in a certain way, inshallah. Like I wanted things to happen a certain way, and one was I wanted to be financially stable. I wanted to, you know, have a nice house and those things, and I just visioned, that was my young vision of being a young boy growing up. And so I never indulged in, you know, getting married or having kids or anything like that until I felt like I was ready. And then I just remembered, like when I met her and the conversation we had, it was so lighthearted, it was fun, and I could, like, I guess we connected on this creator side. I did encourage her to quit her job at the law firm too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you can do it. Yeah, so it was me. Like, I was like, you can do it.
وانت السبب طيب.
Yeah.
He's like, you're the reason?
But I got her now. She's good, right? But you know, I thought she had this personality that was so great, and I was like, yo, you really work behind a desk somewhere? Like, you have a real cool personality, and you know, after I knew that, you know, this is the person I wanted to marry, I was serious about it, and I approached her in a serious manner. It just happened to be her birthday. And then we had to figure out how we were going to tell her parents. And I was sweating bullets. I had no idea what to do.
And he's a revert, so like he had, like in 2018, I was like, oh, not really a possibility. In my head, I was like, oh, okay. But then he had like Muslim friends, and he was researching.
My business partners, business partners,
He was researching the religion, and even before my birthday, he had been Muslim. So I was like, oh, like okay, like I don't know, the stars are aligning, and we're getting along. I was like, the only thing is we have to tell my mom. So I started asking my mom like serious marriage questions.
Before you even say anything, I want to know when did you, because at this point, her 28th birthday, you were like, she's a loser. She really is a loser. Like when is she gonna, not in that way. Like you're like, when is she gonna get married? When is she gonna get married? And when did you have a hint that she was asking you some questions that maybe...
She knows. My mom knows, but she acts like she doesn't know.
Let me tell you something before you even answer this.
Superpower.
You know, I hang around my new brother-in-law, sisters-in-laws, and they be like, oh, my mom doesn't know. I said, you believe that if you want to? Because I'm a very observant person. I said, I watch your mom. She acts like she doesn't know. She knows everything. She knows everything because I'm a super observant person. I see when she turns away like she ain't listening. She got that one ear back here. She's listening. She hears everything. And she knows the perfect time to act dumb. In a lot of situations, she just plays. But when did you really know? When did you really know? Or when did you have an idea?
Say it.
No, she came to me and she asked, a friend of mine wants to marry, what do you do?
I'm not slick at all, okay?
Now we are close. And then my other daughter, she was talking to my other son-in-law. You will not be the first one. My head is working there.
See, I told you, she's putting it together.
You will not be the only one.
Oh.
So
see, she's putting puzzles together. I knew it.
No, I have another daughter. She is not married. I am not worried about her. I was worried about this one. Wallahi, I was so worried about her.
Why, Mom? If anything, I had it all going on.
يعني كده. وبعدين هقول لك حاجة. يعني no one, we know our family, they talk to me, we like to have Mai, we love her, but no one came to the house.
She thought something was wrong with me because everybody was asking about me from far, but not coming to the house and knocking on the door like 1980s. Like the guy is supposed to.
No, and I discovered later she is the one. Just I needed someone to come to the house, because everyone was talking about Maggie. She's beautiful. She's and then what happened after that?
What else did they say? She was beautiful. She's what?
Just God. Yeah. So I was really worried, but I had the idea. And the minute she talked to me, I said,
"It's coming.
Let me show you my list. Is he a Muslim? Yeah. Is he ready? Yeah."
She's partying.
Yeah. Okay, I will talk to your father. And another thing about Egyptian family, they always you see the woman, she does nothing, and the man, this is rubbish. We control the house.
My mom was in control the whole time, I will say.
My husband, whatever you decide. What do you think?
No, I came up to my mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, I have to tell you something. And she knew, like, by the smile, she sat down, she's like, yeah, I'm free. She's like, come sit down, come. She was so nice to me. I was like telling her, I was like, there's this guy, he wants to come to the house and ask for my hand. And she's like, on cloud 9. And then I was like, one thing. He's a convert.
2 things.
Yeah, I was like, he's a convert. She's like, okay, does he pray and everything? I was like, yeah, he does, alhamdulillah. And then she's like, okay, good, we'll meet him. I was like, oh, another thing. She's like, another thing? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's Jamaican. She's like, oh my God. What? Like, she was shocked. She thought, like, convert, okay, but like Arab. But then I was like, Jamaican. She's like, oh, okay. And then I was like, can I show you a picture? He does like real estate investing and this and that. And then she's like, no, I don't want to see a picture. My heart will get attached to the drama. Like,
yeah.
If I see a picture.
Don't show me his picture. I need to see him.
It doesn't work out and this and that. And then I was like, no, look at a picture. I swear to God, I pull up a picture of Max on Instagram. I show my mom. She's like, oh, my heart is at ease. Like, she just knew, like, he was the good guy or something. I was like, that's it? Or whatever. So then she's like, I'm going to tell your dad. My dad was landing from Egypt the same day. The man didn't even get a hello from you.
I have something to tell you.
She goes, your daughter has somebody coming to the house. guy just landed from a 9-hour, 10-hour flight.
Surprise!
Surprise! And the guy's dragging his luggage. But he gets home, and then it was a Monday, and my dad's like, tell him Thursday to come.
Keep in mind, I live in North Carolina, so it's not that long of a flight. It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, my dad said come Thursday. And I'm like, so I got to practice. Don't I got to prep? What I got to do? Like, I don't know how to, I've never done this before. Like,
and he's asking me what kind of sweets to bring to the house. I'm like, I don't know, just bring a donut, bring a flower, just come, I don't know.
I like to be very well prepared, and I was nervous. The first time I've been nervous in a very, very long time. But everything worked out well.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
For us, I hope for you. I don't know.
For you, we don't know.
We have don't return, you know, and this is it. This
Yo,
is
wallahi, everybody's warning Max as if I'm explosive device or something. Cause they're like, are you sure, May? Are you sure? And I'm like,
you know, a lot
why
of people
is
ask the question, is her personality on Instagram like it is in real life? It's even more.
No.
It's even more. She's always joking, which I like because, you know, I have a serious demeanor most of the time, and she brings out like this fun side, and she's like, we can never really be mad at each other because we're always 60 seconds away from a joke.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a joke coming around the corner, and so we have fun with that, and so her personality is this times 10. Like, she's very sporadic. Nothing is ever planned. She does as she pleases, but we have fun. I think we're just such a good mix together, and it makes fun.
Alhamdulillah, لغاية دلوقتي 1 month. This is after 1 month. We'll wait.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, inshallah. It's gonna be. I can't wait. It's like, for me, it's like, you know, I've had so many other things good go on in my life, and there was one piece in my life that was missing, and it was like a good woman, love, and it was like the final piece to like me being able to start the journey. And so I'm excited about the journey and all the things that we're going to be able to do.
Take your final piece. Take it.
That was very sweet. That was keep going.
There's enough. See, she loves compliments.
I love it.
You got to cut her.
We should do this podcast every day. Are you guys free tomorrow? Anybody free?
We will not finish.
I never hear this stuff in real life. Keep going.
Here, there's also, like I tell you, we read comments. We actually really do read comments. There is a lot of people that ask May a question in the comments about how did you get your parents to accept that this Jamaican guy was coming to the house to ask for my hand? And you get that a lot, right?
Yeah, and especially like they're like, it's really hard. I'm in a relationship, but I'm scared to tell them because they're not from the same background.
Yeah.
What do I do? And for me, I just had to do it. Like, I don't know, I just came and I slowly, like, I dripped the information slowly in one sitting. And I guess I was at a point where I was like 28 and that like she was open to it. I just said like, listen, he's a good person. He has this together, he has this together. And I wasn't even like pushing you know? I wasn't very like, oh my God, he's the one, I'm gonna die. I was just like, here he is, this is who he is. Give him a chance.
But I think, Mama Wafaa, I think a lot of people obviously look up to you. A lot of younger people, a lot of mothers watch the content that you guys put out. If you had a friend come to you and ask you, hey, my daughter is in a similar situation that your daughter's in, how would you, if they ask for advice, what would you recommend that they do in this situation?
Yeah, we are joking all this, but you know, marriage is a serious thing.
Very.
I have my list first.
Her list.
Yeah, of course. For us, you know, this is not for everyone, to be a Muslim. This is the most important thing. And he has a career. He can provide for her. Is she happy with him? What about his family? And he was ready.
Yeah.
And he brought the
test I ever
ring.
passed in my life with flying colors.
Yeah, and he was very open about like meeting his family, and we all flew out to his
oh my
state.
God, yeah.
And my dad at first was very like, where did this guy come from? He's ready right away. I didn't even get to breathe. Like, May's single one day, the next day she's gonna get married. He's like, wait till next year and get married.
He doesn't want his young girl to go
Yeah,
away.
he was like
She's
very
still her little
protective.
princess.
He was like, take
When I
it.
say Patty goes, let him get married.
Yeah, he was like, take it easy, May, get married in a year. And I would tell my mom, and my mom's like, give me a
even
second.
called
And
Max.
she'd go in the room and slammed the door in half. Like God
He would even
knows
tell me, he
what.
said, "You sure you want to get married in January? You know, it's kind of cold. You may want to wait till like the springtime, you know, and things like that." But it was all it was
Out of love, like
yeah, it
he was
all out
just
of love.
worried. Like
He
was like,
wanted
where
to
did this-
check the boxes. He wanted to make sure I was sure and that I was sturdy with my answer.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was doing research the whole time. I think he put his name in Google. I was like, Bubba, that's not research. Hire a private detective. Find out the real juice. And even when we came to do like apply for a marriage certificate, like that they put your name through the record and they make sure you've never been married before and your age is right. And I'm there the whole time and I'm like looking so hard at the screen. I'm like, ooh, I wish you would. I wish you would lie.
But it was so cool. The parents and the family said yes, this is cool, and
it was really blended. Like our families are very similar.
I think it was like within 2 weeks, their whole family had flew to North Carolina, met my family, and we just gelled so much. I think when you come to America and you still hold, you know, a lot of culture from your homeland, I think it's very similar no matter where you're from. And you know, their family is Egyptian and my family is Jamaican, and our moms had very a lot of the
very strict
characteristics. I grew up in a very strict household too, and you know, I was the one that broke the pattern of not, you know, going to colleges and doing stuff like that. I did turn out to be the most successful one though too, but so yeah. But you know, it's
same.
But you know, it's our families are they have so much fun together. They gel together. Your mom cooks, my mom cooks. Our brothers and sisters, they hang out for hours just hanging out, and so it's like it's like a perfect match.
Yeah.
It's I don't think I could ask for anything better.
I'm the perfect. You're the match.
Oh my God, you were not
No, I think that's. What about some other questions? I'm sure you get.
How ask them? They can ask.
I did put up like a story asking people if they had any questions. And let's
But I mean,
see.
think about in your comments. What are some things that you comment?
Well, the number one question is Max Muslim. I get that like
40 times a day.
57 times a day. But like a lot of people are just wondering if my mom's like adjusting while I'm out of the house, if she's sad, if she's happy, what's her?
It's so funny. We got married January 8th. We flew to Dubai January 12th. And so we have a brand new house that we built, and we haven't spent one night in it yet.
Yeah, we've just been traveling.
We've just been traveling and having fun, and we really have only been away from Mama Wafaa for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
She's ready to get away from us right now, I can tell. But you know, it's cool because even though it's very far if you drove, but we're an hour and 20 minutes flight. A lot of people ask you, are you going to be able to still put Mama Wafaa in videos?
Yeah.
She's been thinking about getting her own Instagram account. You think she should get her own Instagram account?
What about my page is gonna go down the drain? Mama, wait. Don't answer. Don't answer yet. Maybe it's a very thin possibility. Another thing is kids.
Yeah, a lot of people ask us when we're gonna have kids.
After 1 month.
I'm like, no. He's like, don't do it.
We first of all, both of us love to travel.
Yeah.
Both of us are real business minded. Like we want things to be set up in a certain way, and we really love traveling right now. And I don't want to be pushing a stroller through the airport at this moment.
Yeah, give it time.
Yeah, for sure.
2 years. So 2 years, like they are.
You hear that, Mama Wafaa? 2 years?
I think 3, 4, 5, like 6 years.
يا لهوي والله دولت
No.
يا ابني هات وانا اشيل.
My mom's acting like she'll be there 24/7. She's like, don't worry, I'm gonna carry the baby. And I'm like, that's not how easy it is.
She's gonna say, send me videos, send me videos.
That's it. But,
you know, I think at this point, maybe we can pass around a microphone. I'm sure some of you guys may have questions that maybe we didn't answer. And I feel like I talked too much. You didn't talk enough.
Yeah,
really?
I did talk enough, right?
I think you talked enough. Did I not talk enough? I think I talked enough. No?
And you love to talk, so I'm surprised.
You want me to talk more?
All of you.
All of us? What should we talk about? What do you want us to talk about?
So who has a question, raise your hand, and then we'll just start passing the mic around. No questions? All right, cool. Let's go, guys.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I think this is the best time because this is very.
Okay, I think it's not. I want to ask you something first.
Sure.
It's not about Mais or Mama Wafaa. This is something about you. You were telling her before getting married that why are you working 9-to-5 job? You just said this. I never heard you say this before. So, what advice would you give people like me who are working a 9-to-5 job? I don't want to work 9-to-5 job. So what words can you say or an advice that you gave her, I want you to give it to me or to anyone who doesn't want to work a 9-to-5 job for the rest of their life?
Well, I'm not an advocate for people quitting their jobs to follow their passion. I think you can run them side by side simultaneously. I think she was in a unique situation where she had worked at this job for a while. It paid pretty well, but she lived at home. And so the reality is she should have had some money saved up. And she didn't have, to be honest, she lived at home, and that's the good thing about growing up in a Muslim household, that she didn't have to pay that many bills. So she can afford to figure out some things in a certain amount of time and still go back and get a job. So, for me, for someone like myself who, 6 years ago, one of my businesses failed and I lost everything, I would say it's more importantly, you got to give yourself just as much time as you're willing to give your employer. So whatever passion project or whatever thing that you truly want to do, that free time that you do have, you need to apply it to it just as disciplined as your employer expects you to be at work for a certain amount of times. And then as you start to grow that side hustle, that business, and it supersedes or you're comfortable losing some salary or whatever it is, then make that transition. But one thing that I never want anybody to do is live life with regrets. All right, I think there's all going to be a day, they say there's going to be a day where our life flashes before our eyes or something like that. Make sure it's worth watching, right? And so go out there and explore some of these things, and you can do it. There's enough time out there for everybody to truly, if you truly want to do something. Now, 9-to-5 is a great thing. I'm not an advocate saying that people shouldn't go to college or shouldn't go to, have a 9-to-5. But if you truly have a passion for something else, give it a shot. I won't pay your bills if it doesn't work out, but give it a shot.
I have no responsibility. But I think I just want to add on, I was at a point where I was just trying everything because I was told I was going to be a doctor, I was told I was going to be this, so I tried being a lawyer, I worked at a bank, I saved money, I opened a jewelry company.
The first time I hear you, I saved money. Jobs, no money.
You need to borrow something? I have nothing. No, but
that's when she has nothing.
Yeah. No, but I tried so many different things, and then he's right. I had saved money and I was living at home. It wasn't like I had too much responsibility, and I was young and free. So at that point, the risk was what's the worst that can happen? You can apply to another job. Yeah.
You never said that I wanted to give up.
Yeah.
I think you reached a point where you were khalas, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want anything anymore.
Yeah.
Have you reached a point that you would just want to give up?
Or give up with what?
With work, that you're working and you think that you can do it, but then of course you've tried a lot of work and you're saying that it's not working out for you. So I'm sure at some point people say, khalas, I give up. Yeah. Have you reached that point?
Yeah, I mean, I just got to a point where every day was boring. It was the same thing over and over again. I was doing, I was behind the desk, but I wasn't really working. I was just trying to get fired. I was trying everything. So you get to a point where it's not for you, and then you have to move on. Maybe not stay there for 30 years, figure it out.
I think those days, at least in America, those days of the 30-year careers with benefits and those things are over. Yeah. I know that Mama Wafaa and doesn't want to hear that. I think there's certain careers that's obviously not going anywhere, but I think the idea of, staying at a job for benefits is not a good answer anymore. If you're unhappy, go find out what, at least makes you some happy.
Hello, hi, I'm happy to be here, and I'm so excited. Actually, I have two questions, one for Mama Wafaa and one for the amazing newlyweds. So, Mama Wafaa, I understand it's really somehow tough to raise up kids as an expat or as an immigrant. So now I am married to, my husband is from totally different culture and totally different nation as well. And we live, as expats all over, the region. So it was not easy, to teach my daughter my culture, and for my husband to teach his culture to my daughter as well, because I'm not so much aware of it. So for you being a mom that is very attached to family, to the religion, to all of this, how hard or easy for you to raise up an amazing, family, and you have very, we look at Mace and we see wow, she's very attached to her culture. She show where's her origin, and how people, and when she goes to Egypt, so we see the attachment and the roots. She goes back to roots. So how you instill this in her, and difficulties, and how easy or difficult. And for the newlyweds, I would say, how you plan for kids. Now you mentioned kids, or we mentioned kids, how you think it's easy, to introduce Jamaican American or the Egyptian American culture to your kids. Have you planned this? Because I have difficulty actually with my daughter. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a bit tough question.
Mama, go first so I can think about my answer. Go ahead.
Very
Mama,
tough.
go first.
No, raising a family is not easy, and no one is perfect. You close your door on your kids. If you look from outside, they look nice, they look happy, but they are terrible. You have to be there to support, to discipline, to support them, to teach them. I have no black hair anymore because of this. No, but you know your role. If you choose to be a mother, you have to do it. And especially, her father is, he's kind, but I know from my mother, I remember my mother's advice, and sometimes I look in the mirror, I am like my mother, so.
Oh, Lord. How does that feel?
Yeah, bad, but I have. So you try your best. Mother, you have to plant the seeds of respect, traditions, your background. This is who you are. Even if you go outside, you have to behave certain. We invited people. We had many friends. I tried to plant this. We went to Egypt many times. The Islamic school, whatever your background, be proud of your family. And this is the result. I did my best.
Yeah!
ده اللي فرحة فيه.
You did a great job. That's why I'm always having this fear or guilt. Well, is it right or wrong that I'm not in my home country?
Is it right or wrong that my husband is not in his home country? And I have to instill this in my child, which is now Vanna is 5 years old, but I feel as a mixed race who is not living in her homeland. I am from Dubai, and then I have to tell her, no, actually you're from Egypt, and my mom is Lebanon. I'm Lebanese Irish because my mom is Irish, and my daughter is Egyptian, Lebanese Irish, and living in Dubai, and she's born in Dubai. So for her, I struggle, no, you are from Egypt. Said, no, I'm from Dubai. I'm happy to say, for my daughter to say that I'm from Dubai. And now she's, yes, I'm from Egypt. And she's, okay, so what is Egypt, because we didn't have the chance to travel to Egypt, never.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was difficult, and then I see, is it because now, okay, we are the world is open, it's, I don't know, the next generation is be difficult. Now I see you a real role model mom, and I look at Mace and see how she's reflecting her culture and, the family, for the almost million followers. So I've seen this, but is it easy now to do it, or it was easy for Mama Wafaa, for example, to do it 28 years back? So yeah, it's always the guilt. We're doing right or wrong. What should we do? But there are good role model as you are. That's why I wanted to ask you, and you are in America, so of course a bit differences because we are in the Middle East at the end. We still, having this, we have a proximity to our, home countries. But there's always fear. We're doing right, we're doing wrong. The kid gonna grow and reflect her origin or not. Especially okay, now we are in Dubai, later we'll be in Ireland. I don't know where we'll be later. you know?
You know, I will just tell you, my mother didn't know how to read or write. She tried her best, and you try your best. This is it. Even if they, you know, they are grown up, I tried sometimes I am wrong, but this is the best I could do. I try to do the best for them. They know I am behind them. I am traveling with her to make her life easy. So this is my best. What can I do? I can't do anything more than what I can do. So
Very great job.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very great. Now you are gonna answer, like, just like ease my, you know?
Yeah. No, I just remember growing up, like, she was always like putting us around our communities, and even from the food in the house to like shows we would watch, and Arabic school, just things like that. I was in different programs growing up, so I was very attached. And then we would go to Egypt every year in the summer.
So my question's for May. Mama Wafaa mentioned that she sees her mother in herself. Do you ever come to a point where you see your mother in yourself?
When I'm most dramatic, I feel like I am my mom. We love to gossip together. No, you're innocent. I don't know. I think, like, in my head, I'm very different, but at the end of the day, I think I'm also very strong-willed, and my mom's very independent. Like, she taught my dad how to drive. She's always on the go. So I think, like, when I'm like on the go and someone's talking to me and I'm not listening, I'm like, yo, maybe I'm like my mom, like, in certain aspects.
I see her mom in her a lot too. Like when we go out and do things, they do some of the same stuff. And
Like what?
I mean, like just like the way they carry themselves and the way they, like, you know, even like they like to bargain. They love to bargain.
Oh,
like they
yeah.
have that, you know, they have that. They love to bargain at shops and do stuff like that. But I see some of the same. Obviously, you're gonna be as your offspring. You're gonna have some of the same characteristics. There's no way around it.
Yeah. But I am the cooler version.
At first, my English is not good. I wanted to ask her that she asked the question.
Sure.
And she
That's
said,
wine. That's wine.
yeah, she said me, no, you have to go outside of your comfort zone. Yes, that's good. I have a question because the 9 to 5, what she say, and your daily routine, for example, because a lot of people think, you are now on Instagram and you have nothing to do. Yeah, you just sleep, your money, and that's it. Yeah, and maybe that you explain to people how it really looks like, what you do every day, you create content and something like this. That would be cool.
Yeah.
You understand my
For me, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering who you were asking. I'm sorry.
Everyone.
Okay.
One from.
For me, like, I'm obsessed. So, like, a lot of times I have ideas, I have notebooks, I write them down. Sometimes they're in the moment, so I'm like, hey, crackhead energy. But for me, it's a lot of times people don't understand how crazy content is. Like, I'm the type that I have to shoot my own content. Well, I used to. Now I have a team, but I used to shoot my own content. I didn't know how to edit before. I just would do like basic edits, and then I developed like learning better skills. But like a lot of the times, my days aren't planned day to day. I just like, which he hates. I swear, which he hates. But like a lot of times I shoot, like I take one day and I shoot, and then I edit, and then I drop, and then I make sure I engage with the audience, and like I'm very present and I'm very involved, and then there's different platforms. It's a lot of work. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and just staying on top of what, and there's also a part of like consuming content that's a part of your job. So it's not like, hey, I want to bother my mom. It's like, yo, what's happening on the internet? What's relevant? What are people doing right now? So it's like a mix. It's a lot of work. But if you're passionate and it's fun to you, you have to learn how to have a sense of like not caring after you post something, which is very hard as well. Did I answer your question, or what did I? Oh, my day routine? My routine? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, you answered the question. And for you, because she tells me that you're like investor or something like this, or and how do you do it?
Yeah, for me, I've actually been creating content for 6 years now. And so when I met her, you know, I still have a large, like I'm more popular on YouTube and, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. But I'm completely opposite of her. I started out by myself, and now we have a 4 or 5 person team that handles everything from what are the captions, writing digital content, weekly meetings, negotiating deals. There is a fun side to creating content, and then there's also a business side. Matt travels with us everywhere in the world. The only 4 days I haven't seen him when we went to the desert and we were hanging out at the resort. So Matt travels with us everywhere in the world. He always has a camera. There's more people. I have a total of, like in my business, I have a total of 21 staff members that work for us. And creating content is fun. It's real cool because you get to be yourself. You get to do something you love to do every day, but then there's this business side of it that you didn't expect to come, that came, and you have to do that. So it's cool. We get to employ people with our brand, and then now, like, we're hiring. She's still gonna shoot her own content, but there's things that makes it easier for her. Like, she doesn't need to edit. Like, it's just too hard. So we'll hire a new full-time editor for her, a personal assistant, so she can get more organized because she's very disorganized.
That's a stretch. But I
very,
think
very disorganized.
No.
But it works for her, right?
Mom, stay out of this
she's
one.
been very successful without any of this. And I think that's cool, and she's never gonna lose that connection with her audience. She's still always in charge of her own content, and so am I. I still get to choose the topics. I just, sometimes I need a writer to help me write out some articles that I'm not the best at. But my daily routine, I go to bed at 10 p.m. every day. I get up at 5 a.m. and I usually work between what I call deep work, between the hours of like 5:30 to 8. And that's where, no phones or no nothing. And I can do, in about 2.5 hours, I can do probably 5 or 6 hours worth of work that most people do. And then the rest of my day, I am running around, maybe looking at projects if I want to. We have scheduled blocks on certain days of the week where I'm shooting content for like 2 to 3 hours. But I've been able to take the stuff that I'm not good at and hire somebody to help me do it. But my days are very, very disciplined. I was in the military, so I like to have structure. Her, on the other hand,
I want to add
she's
something.
She's a free bird, which is
I
good.
want to add something because it seems like you're very structured, making me look bad. But
No,
I
it's
want to
not.
add something. You want to start from the bottom when you're creating content. So like, it's not like, I feel like if I started off with like, I'm going to shoot from this time to this time, when I first started, I wouldn't have been as comfortable as I am.
She's 100% right. And because you connected with your audience.
Yeah, so it's like a way to find your flavor and your comfortability. Is that a word?
It is today.
Bismillah. Okay, hopefully it is. But like you have this layer of being rawness and like shooting off your camera or doing this and that, or just being very random, which helped me. And then I think like when I met Max, he was a good like balance of being structured and having time blocks and recording at certain times. So it's good to be a mix. You can be random and unorganized. Yeah.
I guess so. It worked.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. It's not a question, but just I want to say 2 things. First thing, I just want to say thank you to Mai and Wafaa and Brother Max. Mai, because 2 years back, my name is Farah, I'm from Malaysia. So during the first year of pandemic, I was hospitalized back and forth.
Wow.
I can't even, what we call it is, get a visitor. I cannot meet up with my kids, my family, all alone. I was watching your video because I have a brain tumor.
Oh.
So I just want to thank you for being you. Because 90% of social media is just like packaging themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
So I just want to say thank you, and your mom, Mama Wafaa, because it's also rebuilt my relationship with my daughter because she's 15 years old. Now she's coming to 16. So after I discharged from the hospital, I took 2 months off from my work. I told my staff, like, I need to take a break. And during total lockdown in my country, I moved to Dubai. And looking at your spirit, your energy is so lively. And, looking at you, just like, we all should appreciate life and have alhamdulillah for everything. And the main reason I'm here, actually, I don't know that you're in Dubai, but it's just like, I just look at your Instagram. I said, mashallah. I finished my work. I try to be here, and alhamdulillah, I'm here. And the third reason, inshallah, after everything, I just have like personal wedding gift to both of you and to Mama Wafaa.
Thank you.
So, because of your comments, I started to be proud of her. Started.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would have made one.
I started to be. You pushed me.
That's really sweet. I swear.
You know, it's stories. I think it's stories like that, and that's what I was asking. Like, how is it that you go from one day, like, what are you doing, May, to the next day you're walking through the mall, and then today you're sitting here and you're hearing stuff like that? I think, does it give you like fuel to continue helping and continue to be a part of what May does?
No, but look,
He's trying to make it.
He's pushing. No, but wallahi, yani, I feel really good. You know,
We're proud of you, Mama Wafaa, because as a Muslim, I love about you because you don't even judge your daughter, like as what she mentioned just now. Like, I don't want to go to Islamic school. I don't want you just like make dua. We believe as in our religion, just make dua. So lots of parents nowadays, they try to like brainwash your kids, like just because okay, in terms of religion, in the end, we it's just the prayer of a mother. So that's why I felt, mashallah, even like we are living, it doesn't matter where we live, it's like our faith, and which is very important. And like that's how I told my daughter, like for instance, like wearing hijab, I'm not going to force you. Let it come. Because you know what, no matter what, I will pray for you. I will support you. And that's like beautiful thing that, and your video, I was like 3 o'clock in the morning because I was a bit worried because of my treatment. I watched your video and I feel like, don't worry, I'm going to be fine. Because, it's like, that's energy, that's pure energy. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much.
No, you love your kids. You are, you are the mother. You have to take decision. You have to show them the right from the wrong, and you cannot control them, but you have to show them. And after that, I said they are adult. What can I do? But this is my opinion. This is what you should do. This is If they listen, good for me. If they don't, and I will not tell you stories from America. We have many stories. These in America, they consider them good kids. But you have many stories. But just open the door for your kids and let them, soar in life. This is what I believe in.
So let me wrap this podcast part up, and then we can continue to maybe do some questions. And I would like for them to come down and take some pictures with you guys here up front. I think that'll be pretty cool. So let's do that. Are we good? All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the first ever episode of the Mai and Max show, or whatever it's called right now. We have no idea. Live from Dubai at the Paramount Hotel with our first ever guest and live audience. Thank you so much for watching. And Mai, what do you got to tell them?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode with my mom.
Peace.
Okay.